Today we're going to do mock interview with ChatGPT to solve merge universe problem from LeetCode. So let's start. So today's problem is merge universe from LeetCode. Okay. Merge universe. No. Okay. Anyway, ChatGPT understood what I said. All right. So you're given a list of universe. Each universe has a start and an end time. Some of these universe may overlap. Your task is to merge all overlapping universe and return a list of non-overlapping universe that cover the same ranges as the original input. That's the problem. All right. So I got the list of universe. Each universe has a start and an end time. Some of these universe may overlap. Okay, it can be overlapped. And your task is to merge all overlapping universe and return a list of non-overlapping universe. Okay, that covers the same ranges as the original input. Okay, I got it. So I want to clarify the problem first. So what is the range of start and end time? And what is the length of list, the given list? And could it be empty list? All right. So you can assume the number of universe is at least one. The start and end values are integers. All right, at least one. So start and integers, the start is less than or equal to the end. All right. Start is less than or equal to the end. The total number of universe can be up to around 10 to the fourth. All right. So, okay. So let me think about the approach first. So in order to solve this problem, okay, before that, I want to know the sample case, if that's possible. So could you give me one simple test case for me? All right, so we got input like this, then output like this. All right. So let's say to solve this problem, we have to compare this and this to universe and then see if those two are overlapped or not. In this case, those two universe are overlapped because this end time is greater than the start time of the next interval. So we can say it's overlap. But I'm not sure if that the input is always ordered by the start time. In the sample case, it's sorted by start time. So I want to ask about this. So is the given input is always sorted by start time or not? Right? No, you should not assume the input is sorted, okay? All right, that's good information. So in order to compare, I need to sort by first, no, start time first. After then, I can compare those two and then compare with the merged input if those two are overlapped, merged with the next interval, and then compare if those two are not overlapped, and then push to the results. Okay. All right. So push the next element if those two are not overlapped. Yeah. So if we are pointing to the current interval, in this case, those two are overlapped, and the current one and the next one. If those two are overlapped, we have to push the merged interval to the least. But I think we should keep instead of just push to the results, because we can have more merged, like we can have possibility to be merged with the current merged interval. So if we push to the list first, then we have to access to the list and then connect or merge together. That's kind of a lot of work. So instead of push directly to the results, I will keep the current merged interval and compare to the next element. If next element and then current one is not overlapped, and we can just push, because there's no possibility that it can be overlapped with the next item. So after that, update the current interval to the next interval, and then compare again with the last interval in this list. And for the last part, I think if those two are overlapped and or not, whether if those two intervals are overlapped or not, we can merge, or we can just directly push the current one, and then the last interval will be remained in this input array, not in the output array. So we after the iteration, we have to manually push the last interval to the results. Okay. So, I didn't click the dictate button, so I will just simply explain to the ChatGPT about this. So, first of all, I need current interval variable that points to the first interval in the input array initially. And then before that, we have to sort the input array by start time first. After that, we need a current variable, as I said before, and then compare with the next interval while we are iterating the input array. And then compare if those two are overlapped or not. And then see if those two are overlapped, we can just merge and update to current interval with the merged interval. And if those two are not overlapped, then we can just simply push to the results. And then update the current interval to the next element, next interval. and then do the same thing until we reach to the last interval in this input array. After that, we have to manually push the last current element, current interval to the results list, because it will remain anyway. So after that, we have to do that. After that, we can simply just return the result array. Okay, let's see. All right. Okay, that approach sounds correct. Sorting by time first, then iterating and merging overlapping intervals while maintaining a current interval and pushing to the results when there's no overlap. That logic is consistent with the requirements. You can go ahead and implement it. All right. It says that's good to go. But I will mention the time complexity and the space complexity first. Okay, before I dive into coding, I want to mention the time complexity for this. The time complexity will be O of n log n, because the biggest complexity of this approach is sorting. So the sorting takes of n log n time, and for the space complexity, it will be O of n, because the results array will be O of n in worst case, because if input array doesn't have any overlapped intervals, the results or output array can be the same. So that's gonna take up to like of n in worst case. All right. So let's say, this is quite good dictation function. All right. Yes, time complexity is dominated by sorting, so that's of n log n. Space complexity can be of n for the input. In the worst case, that analysis is reasonable. All right. So I will just start to solve merge intervals here. Right, I think I have solved this before, so I will just restart. Okay. Because my previous attempt to record this video was failed because the microphone doesn't working correctly. So yeah, I changed the microphone and then re-recording now. So yeah. Anyway. So first, what I have to do is I have to sort interverse array. Nest size, begin, interverse, that end. All right, after that, I need to iterate, but before that, I think I want to initialize the current one. So current one should be initially first one of the interval list. After that, we're going to iterate from the first one, because we have to compare with the not first one, the second one in zero indexed. So yeah, and then until we reach to the end of the input array and increase each iteration. All right. So firstly, what I have to do is we have to check whether those two intervals are overlapped or not. Let's say we have 1, 3 and 2, 6 initially. the current one should be 1 comma 3. So to check the overlapping, I have to compare with the end time of the current interval, and then to see if the end time is greater than or equals to the start time of the next interval. So yeah, right. So first, current of 1, which is end time, is greater than or equals to intervals of, what is that? Yeah, start time. But this one, yeah, should be ith interval, and then start time of that interval. That means it's overlapped. Oops. Is that correct? Yep. All right. In this case, what we need to do is we need to merge. So the current start time should be the minimum of current 0, and then intervals of I of 0. And then the end time should be maximum of current of 1 and intervals of I of 1, right? Yeah, I think that's it for the overlapping case. And if those two are not overlapped, then we need to push to the result array. So the results will be vector of vector, which is 2-dimensional vector. I will call this list results, and then we need to push which one? Current one, and need to be updated with the current next one. Yeah, and as I mentioned earlier, we also need to push result with the last current one, and then return result. All right. Okay, so let's see if those. Okay, let's see if I correctly code this. So initially we have to sort, and then after we got the result like this, and the current one should be 1 comma 3, and the iteration will be start with the next one, in this case 2 comma 6, and we compare and see if the end time is overlapped. So in this case, it's greater than it equals to the start time of the next one. So yeah, it's overlapped. So in this case, we're gonna merge. So current one was 1 comma 3, but now it will be merged like 1 comma 6, and yeah. After that, next iteration is compare with the 8 comma 10 and then 1 comma 6, and those two are not overlapped. So we're going to push to the results of the current one, and then update current to the next element. All right, and so yeah. In this case, we have to do the next iteration. And next iteration also is not overlapped with the last interval in this array. And what we have to do is just push the current one. Okay, and do the same thing. Okay, so after this, the iteration, the loop will be terminated, And lastly, we have to push the current one. Oh, before that, we have to also update the current one. And then the iteration will be terminated after that. Yeah, manually push the last current one to the result and return the result. Okay, let's run the code. Oops. Pushback, sorry. Right. All right. All test case passed. I will submit the code. Okay. Yeah. Submission accepted. So I will copy and paste to the ChatGPT to get some feedback. So please give me some give me detailed feedback. No, not yet. This is my code. The implementation looks correct. Sorting with the default comparator works here because the universe are compared lexicographically first by start, then by and. Your merge condition is correct for detecting overlap. You correctly push current when there's no overlap, and you also push the finer interval. Yeah, we can say finer interval. Okay. After the loop, the solution would pass. Okay, that sounds great. All right, so would you give me some detailed feedback from today's mock interview session? Okay, I'll give you realistic interview style feedback. Problem understanding, you started by clarify uh, whether input can be empty, whether it's sorted, range and start. That's good. Those are reasonable questions. One thing you ask for a test case in real interview, I usually expect candidates to create their own. Okay. On small example to reason through the logic. That's what I missed. All right. Asking for one isn't wrong, but stronger candidates often volunteer one themselves. All right. So next time I'll try with this. So communicate your explanation of the approach was clear and structured. Sort, maintain a current interval, compare with next, merge or push last interval. It was logically ordered and easy to follow. Where you can improve, slightly tighten phrasing, reduce repetition. You repeated current interval a few times. Okay. Be a bit more decisive when wording. All right. For example, instead of we have to manually push the last current element, you could say after the loop. Okay. After the loop, we push the finer interval. Oh, that's way better. Yeah. After the loop, we push the finer interval. That's good expression. More concise, more confident. Yeah. Algorithmic thinking, your solution choice was correct immediately. No unnecessary overthinking, no brute first, attempt first, that's strong. Uh, oh, yeah. Maybe I should have come up with the brute first approach first. But anyway, time and space complexity explanation was accurate and confident. That part felt solid. Very detailed. Implementation quality, your code clean, minimal, no necessary variables, no bugs, correct edge handling, finer push, good use of STL, one small nut. Sort like this. In C++, this works lexicographically, but in interviews, some engineers prefer explicitly writing the comparator for clarity. Not required, but sometimes shows intent. All right. Senior level signals. Here, the honest part. You solved it correctly and cleanly. That's good. But This is considered a standard medium problem for a senior level interview. I'm evaluating depth of reasoning under ambiguity, oh, hard to sound, clarity of communication under pressure, confidence, code elegance, and speed. You were methodical and safe, but not particularly sharp or stand out. That's not a criticism, but it just means this performance would be passed for mid-level, borderline for senior. All right. English communication, since you asked before, compared to your earlier session, you were improving strength, structuring thoughts, logically explaining algorithm steps clearly, no major grammar breakdowns. All right, so long improvements, reduce filter phrases. So after that, we have to, okay, speak more assertively, shorten sentences, avoid over explaining obvious step. All right, in an actual big tech interview, clarity plus competence matters as much as correctness. Right now, your English is fully understandable. It's not blocking you, but tightening it would raise your perceived seniority. Overall verdict, if this were rare, for a Meta Google phone screen, problem solved correctly, clean code, clean complexity, no major red flags. This would likely be a higher for this round, but to consistently pass senior loops, you need more crisp communication, slightly stronger executive presence, faster transition from idea to implementation. If you want, next time we can add slight pressure, add follow-up modification, or simulate a harder variant. You are definitely improving. All right. This is all for today. So see you next time.